What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Darkest Dungeon. I'm happy to have you here today. My name is Splattercat, and as always, I am your guide and your host as we jump on in and attempt to, I don't know, we got some weird, like, satanic chaos gate behind us. It looks like the embers are burning, though. It'd be interesting if they added bonuses to these rooms, so just like a one-time light radius, like when you leave the room. So, like, when you're in this room, you get plus 25 to light. It cannot go down below a certain threshold based on the braziers in the background. I'm thinking thematic type stuff because I'm not a big role player, but at the same time, I like stuff like that, like a careful attention to detail. You tend to find it in games done by Clay, and this game should be no exception, I think. That subtle nuance that Clay has in most of their games. So anyways, I would love to see that, and then once you leave the room, the 25 goes away. It'd be a cool change. Let's see what we have going on in here. I'm going for 100% clear right now. I'm probably going to let the light level fall off because we've been doing pretty well. Can I sanctify these? I can. The pile is purified, allowing a thorough search. Good, 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 good. We don't have a grave robber with us, so unfortunately the blue talisman is not going to be of a lot of use. But when we get it back to town, I am interested in trying out the grave robber. In the previous episode, we had some small discussion about the balancing patch that the developers had put out. You can no longer farm mobs by using stun lock. They buffed the grave robber. They nerfed the Hellion a little bit. It's not like a huge nerf. It was kind of like a fine-tuning. I wouldn't call it a nerf. She's still really, really good. She's still a wrecking ball. And the developers actually acknowledged that when they were talking in the patch. They were like, yeah, she's supposed to be a wrecking ball compared to the rest of your, she's supposed to come in like a wrecking ball all the time. However, that being said, they felt like she was overtuned, largely around Iron Swan, which is an ability that is pretty damn good in all consideration. Iron Swan was a really amazing ability. Still a good ability, just a bit more situational now. So, it is what it is. Unfortunately, we're going to take an Eldritch. Come on, resist. There it is. Well done, well done, well done. Happy about that. Very happy. If I had to rearrange my line on the first turn, it becomes a long-term, unsustainable frustration. I'm going to start throwing some solidified heals in one direction, or directed heals. We're going to start DPSing. We one-shotted the front line. Very, very well done right there. Happy about that. I'm going to continue through. Man, our party is ready and raring to go right now. Ready and raring to go. I think that they are in rare form to continue with that inner monologue. Oh, man, in rare form indeed. Come on now. All right.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
We're a little bit low on Skrillzas. So for right now, I'm looking at things that I can get rid of that aren't going to eat up any further space. We've got enough rooms left to where we might get some checks on our hunger to where I'm a little bit terrified to use up some of the resources. My suggestion would be to use up the torches since I'm interested in carrying treasures around. I want to make cash, and since we're already full up, that means that there's really no reason to turn this into a darkness run, because as it stands right now, we're already full up, so we might as well get rid of the torches so we can carry even more out with us. Got another pile of bones. Throw those things on there so that we can purify the pile. I am all about the pile purification. We have no room left, and so this is precisely what I was concerned about. Let's take the crests, since they are more useful than anything else. Alright, and that's that. I mean, it's extra treasure that we were getting anyways, so I'm not going to concern myself too heavily. As of right now, we haven't used up our shovels either. Strangely enough.
These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
What I would suggest in this case is because we have more treasure coming towards us, and it looks like our final check is not going to be so bad. Oh, no, we got an ambush right here. I wasn't expecting that. Hey, we still got surprise, though. I'll take that. I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. I guess the check didn't bring that back for us. The check didn't cash for our scouting run. Luckily enough, the Chalice Room does not appear to be in too bad a shape. Let's start off with DPS. I find that getting rid of some of these spiders, probably a good plan. When they're in mass like this, they tend to cause a lot of problems. And so if we can get rid of a couple of them on the first turn, that's definitely going to be satisfactory, to say the minimum, if not beneficial. Let's continue with the stress relief. I want to go back to base. Nobody stressed, no problems, nobody wounded. I want things looking good for right now. Unfortunately, we got a miss right there that we're going to have to live with. That's okay, though. A 24 crit to follow that up. My God, she's dropping crits left and right. I think she's leveled up. I think they made her angry, and they definitely won't like her when she's angry. I barely like her when she's in a good mood. Oh, Corsi, not to be outdone, drops himself a crit as well. The truth didn't prevail. A big-ass sword to the face did.
Laden with loot are often low on supplies.
I think we need the deeds, unfortunately. I'm going to get rid of our last key because we're almost at the end of the dungeon anyways, and also the holy water. I'll keep the shovel since that's like one of the last impasses that can really cause us any sort of pause or problem. and there's one up here, so that'll clear out the next inventory slot so that maybe we can fit some new stuff in. But all in all, we have a very, very good run looking up at us right now. This is pretty good for a medium run, especially considering we're using our B team right now, who have absolutely lived up to that and made it stand for a bueno. So there it is. Another sack. A little bit more gold. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, we have 3 shovels. I'm not going to say that's unfortunate, but it is sort of unfortunate, considering we're almost out and in the darkness. Nothing in there. We've actually completed the dungeon at this point. We're not going to get a scouting check. Alright, well, let's just keep her trucking. Let's just keep her trucking. The barrel is completely empty of everything. A soul, friends, it's empty inside. It really sincerely is. It's kind of hard to be a barrel. Barrel society is known for its brutality. I guess in terms of human correlation, you could call it sort of like a Spartan society. Barrels are expected to bend but never break. And I'm like, ooh, that's clever right there. I see what you did right there, Barrel. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I pride myself as being somewhat of a receptacle of poetry, if I want. It seems like it might be stacked with a little bit of hubris, but you know what? You got to do what you can. I mean, you just smashed me open and left me in the middle of a dungeon floor. I'm not even a barrel anymore. My raw sense of being has been shook down to its foundations and its cores. So I figured, now that I'm just like a pile of fragments, a little bit of hubris probably wouldn't hurt.
Indeed stalk these shadows, but yonder, a glint of gold.
Okay, so there it is, a perfect run for us. Let's be on our way.
The swine folk's labyrinth may yet prove to be navigable.
Okay, so we came out with what looks like almost 11,000 gold. Very, very close, but the big benefit that we came across right here is going to be the collected heirlooms. It's important to remember that as you play through the game, gold does matter, but heirlooms are really what take the cake. They are constantly stealing. They cannot keep their fingers out of the icing, and on this one we came back with 40, count them, 40 plaques or crests or whatever the hell they're called. That, at the bare minimum, will assist us in lowering the price of the gypsy's wares, which means that in the future we could pick up better stuff. So there it is. He's hit renown level 2. Proud of him. Fear of mankind, wasting sickness. It looks like we got a couple more things that need to be taken care of. Unfortunate. Especially that one right there. That rabies needs to... Actually, wasn't Cardon? I think I already said that Cardon was not a character that I was planning. I don't have a hard-on for Cardon, and so we're going to get rid of her, I guess, is the way that I'd say it. Normally, I'm not crass like that on the channel, but it rhymes, so I figured I'd go with it. At this point, I figure if we really hustle, we can fit in a short run. Did they give us any, or is it... We've only got mediums rocking around like right now. Okay. I was hoping, what I really want to do before we go after the hag is, because the hag is very much sort of like a DPS challenge fight. You're trying to DPS faster than she can kill you. It's... If you've ever like done any raids or anything like that from back in MMOs or whatever, she's very much like a DPS test. And if you come out on top, you come out on top. And if you don't, well, then that's that. We've got enough plaques and we've got enough crests to make things happen over here with the instructor mastery. And I don't think that's a bad plan. I thought our cash flow was a little bit better right here. We don't have enough to make any further equipment happen though, so there it is. I guess we'll go for skill upgrades. That's a worthy thing to put your cash and your heirlooms into anyways, so we'll go with it for right now. That's going to be 11 and 22 right there. Next one's going to be 15 and 30. I would have very much loved to get that upgraded higher. Unfortunately, it's not an option for right now. Let's lower the cost. There we go. That'll actually, the guild is almost completely and totally done for us. So with our A team, Reynald, I would like you to step on in. And Reynald, I would like you, let's take you up to Smite. Take you up to Zealous Accusation. We're going to take you up to Stunning Blow. We're going to take you up to Inspiring Cry. So that gives it a 1 to 2 heal, but everything else, it gives it a good stress reduction though too. I'd actually be interested in seeing what we can do with Battle Heal. It becomes a 2 to 4 heal. Not a terrible backup plan. That's actually, I think it's probably highly underestimated. It's a good ability. Now that stuns have been slightly nerfed in that you can't really rely upon them, that puts us in a good position with Reynald. I may do one more farming attempt to try and get a bit more cash. And what do we need over here? We needed busts. Well, we can make that happen though. The next one is probably going to be in the undead area. So we'll see what we can get done there. With Machalt, that's okay. Her abilities aren't so bad. We can leave her where she's at. I think that Fear of Mankind is a pressing concern, but we'll just try and keep her away from missions where there's a fear of mankind. I mean, where there's mankind involved. I think we'll probably go with Sister Dee Dee. Slow Draw is the next thing that needs to go on her. So Slow Draw, while not a really terrible thing, it does need to be dealt with. With Corsi, didn't you end up with something nasty too? Oh no, you're fine. Whatever, he's good. Let's go ahead and take Sister Dee Dee right here. We'll get rid of her Slow Draw. I think I will more than likely continue. We're going to have to take basically the same party into the next one, except minus Viewpoint, who's actually turning into quite the good character. Look at that stack of buffs right there. Quite the good character. A very, very good character, in fact. I'm pleased. I am very, very pleased. On this side, we have a Vestal Chalice, which gives speed but lowers damage. On that side, we've got a Camouflage Cloak, which is going to give you 15 dodge and minus 4 to accuracy. That trade-off is actually heavily weighed in the player's benefit. 4 accuracy is it's easily balanced out. We have Umfraville right there. Did I actually end up... We've got a full roster. Do we now? Do we now? Okay. Well, let's increase the size of our barracks then. Why not? Let's make it a little bit larger.
Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this.
I think I may get rid of Pico, actually. I've fallen out of favor. The Occultist is relying a little bit too much on RNG for me right now. I love their heal. I love weird healing, and I love their ability to push things around in AoE. But as of right now, I will play them. Definitely, I will play my Occultist. But for the time being, my preference would be, let's take on another Jester so that we can swap these two.
At the end.
We've got our Plague Doctor. I'd love to play around with another Plague Doctor. She's got play right there in her name. So let's go after it. Let's take Macy.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
And now that we've got that slotted in, we need to take care of some abilities. Let's give her Noxious Blast, because I find it to be a good ability. Emboldening Vapors can be very, very useful as well, as can Disorienting Blast. Let's go ahead and I'm going to take out Plague Grenade for right now. We'll drop that in right there. And I like her skill set right now. It's utilitarian, while simultaneously bringing enough to the table where I don't feel regretful for bringing her. My heart is not filled with sadness at the thought of her coming along. On this side, we still got Cardin, we've still got Anscott. She'll level up on the next one, though. So if she goes up to level 3, we can't fight the Hag with her. So I prefer to keep her where she's at. Although, in all honesty, it's tough to say who we're going to bring along right now. It's tough to say. The Hag fight, it's sketch. It's very, very sketch. Let's go ahead and take Machalt. Obviously, she's a character that we tend to use a lot. Or Macult. I say her name differently every single time. Let's upgrade them heals. How's that sound? I think that's money well spent. And then over here on this side, I wish you could see what the ones down the chain did so that you could decide if it was worth it for right now. I'll leave her alone for the time being. For Corsi, what I'd prefer to do is let's just upgrade his baseline attack, the one that I lean on the most. So there's that. He's now got a crit mod and an accuracy base. It looks like they actually nerfed that. I think that used to go up to 95. In fact, that serves no benefit at this point. Really? Okay, well, lessons well learned, I guess. Things that I should not be spending money on. Why would you even have... Why was that cost money then? Why wouldn't you just give it to the player for free? It doesn't do anything. Unless it's actually retroactively showing it right here. I think it's retroactively showing it. I think it's actually showing, because this right here is labeled as Smite 3. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I thought that it did a buff each time. At least a crit every single time you moved it on up. That's fine with me. We'll probably take some newbies into this one. I don't feel so terrible about bringing the newbies along. Yeah, let's go after it. Let's get after it. I think we'll probably bring along... I'd like Macult to level up a little bit more, but I don't see any harm in bringing someone else along. Let's bring Montague. She might do okay. We'll put her in the back line. What's she got? The exact kit that I like for the back line. Actually, let's bring Umfraville. We'll bring Montague after. We'll bring Turnbutt on this one. And then we will also bring, for a frontline fighter, we can either bring along Anscott, bring along Cardin again, or she does have a frontline build. No, she doesn't, actually. At best, she has a second-in-line build. Let's bring along... Well, we don't really look like we have much of a choice. Let's bring Corsi. Okay. We'll do... I mean, we could do a Hag attempt. We could bring along some of our, like, B team and just kind of, like, see what happens. I don't think that it's too... I'd have to unlock some things, but we could give it a go. I'm not going to expect to win, but we could give it a shot. I mean, I would strongly suggest not bringing an A team along for this. Let's see if maybe we can throw Ansgod under the bus with this one. Or Carden. Yeah, let's take a couple people that are slightly leveled up. And then instead of you, Revere. Well, we've got Revere already B-teamed up and ready to go. Let's bring Revere instead, because Revere has a lot of negative traits. That means that if she dies, it just saves me a bunch of money. I'm looking at best case scenarios right here, and the Wizened Hag is a nasty run. And so I just want to make sure that things are where they are. So torches, we will need those. Definitely need some of those. Should probably bring quite a great deal of food just in case things get a little bit raw in there and we need to heal people up. Or we need to take like a strong firewood camp and double up on rations, and that should be it for us right now. Let's go. So there are a couple things to like take note of if you're going to be going after the Hag. This is not a fight that every single time is going to be super winnable. My guess is that she's over here. And so with runs like this, what I prefer to do is just make a straight shot towards my foe, and so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to say she's either going to be, what is this, a troubling effigy. Can we purify it? Yeah, the holy water has a powerful effect. Deadly. What did that do? Oh, plus 1% to crit. Good, good, good. Corsi may yet end up being like a long-term character for us. Oh, we've been surprised. That's a little disappointing. It's okay, though. Did I mess him up? I messed him up, didn't I? I forgot to look at his abilities. Oh, shnikes. That may actually functionally rearrange the way that we're going to be able to play. He's ready for slice off, so that's okay, but I wanted him for stress reduction terms. I think that for right now, let's focus on getting rid of the ectoplasm. We'll worry about it in a second. My addle-brain nature has unfortunately cost us on this one. And so at this point, you're forced to consider whether or not you should abandon the cause. I don't think we are so horribly unequipped. This leaves him in a good spot to be a DPSer, actually. So it may actually serve to our benefit to have him DPS for us. And then he's also got an ability he can use in the front line if he needs to, so I'm willing to give it a look. He's got a high crit chance. He's not leveled, but let's try him out as a DPSer on this one. How's that sound? We'll do a little bit of DPS right there. Oh, I forgot about that. They nerfed her AoE as well. They nerfed her AoE, so be aware. You always want to kill the slimes in this fight because they can serve to... They summon more slimes, first and foremost. And then the second thing that they do that's incredibly obnoxious is they can actually summon a boss if you get really unlucky. And so they'll summon a guy with like 40 HP that's actually kind of a home wrecker. He's not super damaging, but at the same time, he is something that will get in the way of your advancement. It's a risk that you would rather not take, and since this game is all about limiting risk and maximizing your chances at winning, I figured I'd bring it up. Let's keep hustling straight for the boss. I don't know, since we didn't get a scouting check right there. I came from nothing, but I will not end with nothing. That's going to be Hylamania. The pack contains loot. We do still get the loot. She doesn't steal it, so it's really... Hylamania is not that terrible. It allows you to make quite a bit of cash, in fact, since I was going to loot that anyways. It tends to not be that damaging of a debuff. Ooh, we stepped on an invisible trap. Unfortunate. She didn't take any damage from it, though, I don't think, so we should be okay, I guess. Let me keep the torches lit. Alright, so big fight right here, and one that actually has an opportunity to really sort of mess with our business. I think I'll probably stick to using AoEs. We'll use Harvest right here, and if we can get some bleeds stacked up, that would be satisfactory to me. Unfortunately, we've got the chance that our line will be rearranged. He's going to resist, which I'm happy for. Doubling up on these. Ooh, a big 11 hit right there. The pushes and the pulls can be fairly substantial issues if you've got the double females over here. So anyways, I'm going to focus on getting rid of them for right now. And then we'll focus on healing on the back end, because obviously we got to throw some health around, otherwise this is simply not going to work for us. Luckily she can still DPS from the third slot. It's not that big of a deal. Let's go for the kill right there. That'll help rearrange our line slightly as well. Our next move is going to be, unless he resists. Okay, so he resists. We're good right there. On this side, our next move is going to be to bring her forward so that she's still useful to us. Groping swipes are going to continue to grab at our giggle bits, which unfortunately will be unpleasant, but we're going to have to live with it. Due to the fact that her HP has been nerfed, we're going to want to keep up with the heals on her. Let's try and get rid of the damaged Mushroom Head guy over here. Is Mushroom Head still a band? Back when I was a kid, Mushroom Head was this band that like dressed up in goofy outfits, And then, like, they basically did music kind of like Slipknot. I was never really that into them. They were like Slipknot. I don't know. They were less chugga, a little bit more music theory, a little less chugga, but still a lot of chugga. We'll keep some damage going right here. This actually means he should be able to DPS the hag. This may work out to our benefit. I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation right now, and I'm trying to work with the fact that I made a mistake and that we're going to be dealing with stress all the way through the dungeon. I was hoping that his job would be just to sit in the back and spam. Let's go ahead and we'll go for a stun right here. If he resists, he resists, but with 25%, he managed to resist out. Okay. Well, good for you, man. Proud of you. Look at you beating the odds right now. You were born a fungus among us. But she can still heal from the third, so we'll just use that to move back and forth here. Get a 6 out right there. Very, very nice. Another groping swipe, though, seeking to nullify it. Disappointing as hell, to be honest. Disappointing as hell, the amount of crits that are flying around. Just can't seem to get ahead of it. I need him to heal. We can't take this amount of damage this early into the fight. It's just not something that's going to be manageable. We'll keep the DPS flowing, but unfortunately, left no better option. I think with... Did I give him... I didn't even unlock it. I was going to say I could give him Battle Heal in the next fight instead of Bulwark of Faith, and he'd be able to heal himself while our Hellion handles the deeps, but unfortunately... Let's just finish the fight off. I'm not really trying to tempt it out, see what the... Little bit of food. Okay. Sure. Let's go for it. We got a Traveler's Hut. A map of the area is found inside the tent. Hopefully something that'll allow us to see where the boss is at. Let's see that animation. What you got for me? What you got for me, bud? We've got, well, a pretty clear marker of where the dangers are at, so that's on the plus side. It's something to keep an eye on. I'm hoping, hunger check right on cue. That's good, though, right on cue. We've got some sticky webs over here. I don't know what you can do with the sticky webs. Can you burn the webs off? I was going to say webs are flammable IRL, but we'll give it a go. Nothing of interest. I will take it. I will take a Noi over nothing, so there it is. Or I'll take a Noi over something being negative in this connotation. I'd actually like to step in. Let's keep our eye on the prize and go straight for the boss for right now. I came from nothing. Okay, so Hylamania is going to proc up on us right there. The pack has a map inside that should, depending on where it pings, allow us to see if the boss is here. And the boss indeed is. So the boss is troublesome in a couple of ways. The boss is ultimately sort of a DPS race in that she's going to put somebody into the pot. Oop, I didn't mean to do that, and now we're no longer divisible by 4. I'm disappointed with my inability to click properly. She puts somebody into the pot. That person loses health over time, and when they are put on death's door, it kicks them out of the pot, and then she AoEs real fast, meaning that you automatically have to make like a death's door check. You can get people out of the pot by spending your time DPSing the pot, but it has a lot of HP, and eventually the pot will break if you destroy it enough times. However, if not, you can focus. I've heard people talking about focusing specifically only on the hag and just going straight after her in the attempt to just like lay her out, and I may give that a go here since we have somebody that can DPS the back line. I don't know, this could get weird. This fight is not something that I have a ton of practice with, and if you retreat from it, whoever's in the pot dies automatically, so be aware of that as well as a contingency that needs to be dealt with. We got a couple of minutes left, and I don't think this fight is going to take much longer than 5, so in we go. This is the fight. Into the pot with our Jester. Actually, all things considered, she took like the least useful character. What you want to avoid right now is somebody dying. The other issue is it's going to spit them out into a random position in your line, which is going to cause you just all kinds of troublesome. Oh, the pot dodged us. The pot, in my opinion, should not have a dodge rating. Just saying, like, how did a pot dodge me? Just throwing that, it's a pot. Yes, I understand your flesh burns, but it's kind of your fault for letting her grab you and allow this to happen. We need to DPS it. We don't have much of a choice right now, so let's stay on it. There it is. A big crit getting our amigo out. If it dumps him back into the front, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, I figured it might do that. Somebody else into the pot. And so when it's your DPSer, it becomes an even greater issue. However, it does a percentage of their health, too, in case you were wondering. I figure... Let's stay on the hag, I suppose. I'd rather jump the line and see how much of a stacking debuff I can get on her than focus on the frontline person. I will, of course, Does she have stun resist? A 90%. Okay. So I'm actually going to attempt this and sort of like see what happens here. I.e. the pain. I'd like to stack a taste the stew. Ew, that's gross. We got to have our friend's stew. I'm like, now I know what cordon tastes like. We're having cordon bleu. Let's see here. I can go for Holy Lance on her. Sure, why not? Let's try it. If I can get the DPS on her, she doesn't have a lot of HP, and so I'm sort of beginning to wonder if I can make this happen. Now, stress is going to become a long-term issue if we can't fix it. However, if we can stay on the task of DPSing, this might actually turn out okay for us. She's still bleeding. Did she just take a double turn? I think she just took a double turn. What causes double turns to happen out of curiosity? Since I have no choice, let's focus on the pot for right now. Strike the pot. There's the idiot tip right there, just in case you didn't know. Heroic in. That's going to give him a permanent debuff, unfortunately. However, it does put the pot within range of being struck by our cleric. And of course, the worst damage she can possibly get out of the attack. And she's going to pop out of the pot now on the next turn. Yep. Oh, we could not have wasted a turn worse. Could not have wasted a turn worse. Into the pot. Which I believe counts as a free move. I think. Yeah, it counts as a free move. And so Death's Door, she made her roll. That's okay. We'll get her off Death's Door in just a second. There it is, off Death's Door. Since we have no means to strike the back line for right now, I'll take a 6 right there. I'm going to focus as hard as I can on DPSing the back line, maybe. We have Breakthrough and we have Yop. Unfortunately, hey! A well-timed crit. A well-timed crit to get people out of the pot. Good. Which then leaves him with Slice Off, which will go to the back line. Hopefully giving her a bleed, but nope. Can't rely upon it. I think that for right now, they're going to rearrange our line in just a second anyway, so buff yourself. Buff yourself for future endeavors. Oh, and a big dodge for a big lady, unfortunately. Into the pot with our healer, which is concerning. And so we'll get Taste the Stew right here. We're seasoned to perfection. She just threw an eyeball at me. That's unfortunate. Fight is a bit nasty.
Injury and despondence.
Okay, so he resisted the urge right there.
Or cowardice.
I'd like to keep a bleed on her just so like something is happening here. Yeah, she takes a double turn. That's interesting. It's a little cheese mode. I don't think I'm okay with that. She should play by the same rules that we do. The double turn's a little messed up. Unfortunately, I gotta rearrange the line here because she got spit out in an inopportune spot. I'll go ahead and go for the damage right there because we have no choice. That's pretty much gonna end the round, and we're stuck in a spot right now where we might lose this fight. It's beginning to look as though it might be a good idea for us to run away. His accuracy has been nerfed. Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And she's gonna take a double turn again. Yeah, I don't find that to be okay. Double turns are kind of bullshitty. And so he becomes abusive, unfortunately. I wish you could actually kill your own characters so that if something like that happens, I could kill him. Because what he'll do now is we risk a death blow. He might strike one of our characters down in his rage. I also hope that the pot at some point stops kicking people out to the front line because that becomes a huge issue. Keep buffing yourself even though you're probably going to die. I got to start working people back in the line. Oh. It's just going to throw her back into the pot, unfortunately.
As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
Oh, God. RNG, come on. What are you doing right now? What are you doing? We're done. Like, we're finished. That's it. Game over. We need to start running away.
And now the true test.
We need to start strongly considering evacuating.
Or expire.
We're not going to make it. Retreat can fail all at once, but I'm going to keep trying to do it. I mean, we got nothing we can do right now. Especially since our line is all rearranged because of Into the Pot. That's a little bit powerful. It needs to be tuned to where it throws them back randomly, maybe. Death blow. So, yeah. We need to be out of here. Otherwise, we're going to lose everybody. And so there it is. We lost half our party. Let's go ahead and evacuate. That's that. Alright, well I took a couple minutes and I started thinking about the way things could have gone better, and I suppose this final little cut right here, this is like post-audio I guess, this is me doing it like a day later after sort of like reviewing the footage and trying to figure out what went wrong. Ultimately, I think our composition was really sort of what just like sent us down the river right there, and so I figure when we make a second attempt, our best goal is probably going to be to leapfrog the mechanic. I realize that's probably not what the developers intend, but at this point, I'm figuring we bring a bunch of range classes, we try and make our way all the way to the end without taking too much damage. With our range classes, we just ignore the pot in the front and just DPS her down. She only has like 60 or 70 HP, so I'm figuring it shouldn't be too bad of a rush, especially if we can actually rest beforehand with like some logs or a campfire and actually boost our accuracy and our crit before we go in. I mean, honestly, her health is about 3 crits away from a kill at any given time. She may look quite girthy and beefy, but actually her HP is fairly squishy. So anyways, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Darkest Dungeon. A little bit of an unfortunate fight there, but we will recover, we will come back, we will return. I'll see y'all later. Hi to everybody.